Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you a Dx2 guide. Today's featured guide is how to farm brands. Brands are an essential part of the game. They are basically this game's equipment item to boost the stats of your monsters. They're very important for competitive play, and they're also very important for clearing just any hard difficulty dungeons. You need them. The nice thing about this game is the runes don't really have any like they have random stat boostings. They do have set chain things. So let's say you equipped like 3 magics, it's always going to increase magic by a specific percentage. I think it's like 20% or I think that's for magic defense. But you get my point. Chains, like when you change something, it gives a set effect. However, the stats that each relic give is usually RNG, right? Like random. It's like Diablo in that sense. So you can find some really good brands, even if it's like a rank 4 brand, and it has like multiple stat increases. It could increase your life healing amount. It could increase base life. It could just like a list of things. Brands are really, really good. And the nice thing is not every single brand is the same, and it's neat. It's really cool. I'm going to be teaching you how to easily farm brands today, and what the most optimal time is. So the most optimal time to farm brands, to save you the most time actually, is on the Brands of Sin stamina cost. Right now, for when this is the time of making this guide, this is a weekly, not weekly, but it's a week long event that's currently going on, and all stamina cost is half off. So if you do like a 7 quest, I believe it's just like 3 stamina. It's really good. Or like I don't know if it's just like naturally 6, but regardless, when you go to the thing, it's 3. It's 3 stamina, so it's really, really good to farm brands at this time. What else did I forget to say? They also help during Freakstorm, or less like any month-long event that requires to exchange for specific. You gather items during quests, and you can exchange them for stuff. I can actually just get another one of these. I've actually got everything, so I don't really need anything else in this event. But regardless, if you missed out a lot of time during Frogstorm, if you're just starting within the last 3 days, this is a really good chance for you to get all the frogs you need. So and just get brands, They might not be the brands you really need at the moment, but just being able to farm frogs to get your resources for the near the end of this frog event is pretty good. But we're going back to branding events, so all you need to go is go to Demon Buster and then Brands of Sin. Then you choose depending what brands you need. The Sloth, like each one has a specific brand that you can only get for that specific category. Sloth, you can only get speed brands, and for Deceit, you can only get auto barrier. What I mean by that is if you went to Sloth, you aren't going to get any auto barrier, relics. What you see on these things right here, the symbols. That's what you'll get from doing that specific grinding thing. Both have their own way of doing things, so just keep that in mind. But a really simple thing is, if you do Deceit first, Sloth is much easier to do. So I recommend always doing Sloth first. Like once you get your decent auto barrier, go right to Sloth, because Sloth is really just a status ailment fight with AoE damage. Everything that I do believe this thing is called Ishtar, right? Vishnu. Oh no, Ishtar was another 5-star demon. Vishnu is really easy to do, especially if you run the Sandalphon, which I do run. This is the team I'll recommend you to do today, and it just works. You can do this with really anything that has resist/nullifies. Preferably, you want one monster that nullifies light damage and one that nullifies freeze damage. This fight becomes really, really easy if you do. So that's why I have the Fenrir here. He's resistant to ice, and my Sandalphon's resistant, or like nullifies light. I have Drain Blizzard, Drain Ice on Fenrir. So I have 2 nullifies. I nullify 2 of his only offensive skills, which is only Holy Wrath and Bufende. I have Holy Resist on my damage dealer here. I do recommend running a Holy Resistant on this one. This is a really good damage dealer for this boss fight because he's already naturally resistant to ice damage, so he doesn't care about either of the spells. So that's nice. So you don't have to worry about your damage dealer dying. I'm bringing Titania because he doesn't resist thunder damage, and it's a really good thunder damage dealer. You don't need specific brands for this fight. Like I said, in Sloth, you need auto barriers, and you get auto barrier from this fight. So once you do this fight, Sloth becomes really easy. I'll show you a setup for that fight after doing a fight for this one. Here's another recommendation. Don't ever set it to auto battle. Especially with this team I'm using. Don't set it to auto battle. Because you may sometimes, not all the time, but I've lost twice. Because I left it on auto through the repel damage dealer, and that's really bad. You can leave it on auto for this section because this doesn't have the auto damage dealer, so that's fine. I will say if you just run a team of 40s, that this is also doable. You don't have to have Sandalphon ranked up. In this current comp, the only rank 5 monster that's been evolved to 5 out of my 4s here is Sandalphon, but you don't need to rank him up to 5 to get this done. If it's a rank 4 Sandalphon yellow, it's fine. Like if it's just a non-ranked up Sandalphon, it works. Sandalphon's just really, really good because he's not weak to anything. He even resists physical damage. Oh, this was the fight I told you not to auto on. Okay, so here's the specific reason why. I had mana, so they didn't really do it. But if this is the only thing left, and you leave it on auto, the AI actually doesn't pass turns ever, and so they'll just attack it, and it doesn't take any damage, and it repels the physical damage. So all it really is hurting them, and they even kill themselves at some point. So just don't ever leave it on auto for that specific section. Or you could actually just kill this thing first and then go back to autoing, but that's the one thing you can't auto in this fight. You have to kill this first. I'm not really concerned. I'm not really focusing on it at the moment. I should be, but I just don't care about it. It's not something that can kill me. If anything, it just means I can't press auto, and that doesn't bother me. Right now, I'm just single targeting this thing that I can clear easily. Repel physical damage dealers are hard to kind of get rid of in this game due to the fact they don't really take any physical damage, so you have to use magic on them. And for the most part, I don't think this one had a weakness, or this one's not. It's not running any weaknesses, so it's harder to kill it. I just did. I didn't do an AoE. Good. Don't do any physical damaging AoEs because you might actually hit this thing. You don't want that. So we're gonna pass that, and we're gonna do a magic spell. You have to kill it with magic. It's not too hard. It's not too hard to get rid of it. It just means you just can't auto. Again, you just can't auto battle. You have to get rid of it before you can auto battle because all it's gonna do is just do physical damage, and you're just gonna waste your time. Alright, so that's almost dead. Yep. So after this, one more spell. Bada bing, bada boom. And then the rest you can just do autoplay. So we'll just autoplay right here. But yeah, see, it's not really doing too much damage. I do build magical resist on my damage dealers, genuinely speaking. I build physical damage and then magic resist. That's how I usually play it. As you can see here, I'm not really having any trouble winning this fight, especially since I'm running Titania. Titania just shreds the monster. And again, the AI just doesn't usually do the most optimal thing. And see, I could just auto, and it's done. You just can't auto it during that specific fight. So that's a botheration, but once you get past that, it's not a big deal. So once you have your proper auto relics, or brands, I mean, then you can go on to the Sloth fight. See, we even got a ward brand from this fight. If I continued to do this, I'd get different stats. Again, the set effects still remain the same, but stats are always random. So that's pretty cool. I like that. For this next team, since I already have enough for the specific monsters I need barriers on, we're gonna do this fight now. And before you ask why aren't I not running Makara Shift and Fenrir, I just haven't changed it yet. I know it's a meta thing. I just haven't gotten to it. I'm more so just casually. I'm farming up my skill points at the moment, so I'm just doing the PvP grind for that. I'll get that fixed relatively soon. That's going to be fixed soon. It just means I have to make another Doltan, though. I want to keep the one that I have on me because I've grown attached to it. I liked it. It's one of my favorite designed monsters in the game, so I just decided to keep it. But for this fight, we're only going to really change 2 monsters, right? All right, so we're going to change it to a boy Prometheus, and we're going to change it to our healer. I'm running a healer for this fight because I just want to make sure my damage stays alive. I don't want my damage dying. I run, here's what I run the barriers on. I run barrier, you don't have to run it on all your monsters, though if you want to, you can. I'm just running it on my magic damage dealer, I'm running it on my support, and I'm running it on whatever you want to call Sendalphon. You could just say the wild card. Just for a better passive damage. Even if my damage dealer gets mute, since it's only relying on physical damage anyway, it doesn't really matter. If anything, I just can't use damage skills on him, but it doesn't really matter. Again, for physical damage. But for my magic damage dealers, I do want auto barrier. I just want it. This thing excels in muting everything and binding, so if you have barrier, it's genuinely easy. Focus on single target damage for this fight. You don't have to worry about the small things. The small things, as far as I'm concerned, also just do status debuffs. Not debuffs, but like status effects. It's not botheration once you're on barrier. So this one you can actually leave on. I was gonna say you can leave it on autoplay, but it doesn't do any focus damage, so it's just better to do the boss fight as manual. You can leave it on auto as far as I'm concerned for this segment, but for the boss fight, just do it. It's not that long. Just do it. Just do it. If you focus down the monster, you can get it done no time flat. But yeah, you can see this fight's just really relies on status ailments, and they didn't really build around it. For farming brands, I recommend for this one it's 45. The other one's like 46. I don't know why the level difference, but regardless of level, like you can get this done with just plains again. Like a non-ranked monsters. I think as long as they're awakened, like your damage dealers, I think you're fine. The Sendalphon and your damage dealers need to be awakened, I think. But beyond that, you're fine. You're all good. I think I left it on autoplay again on a situation where they're running reflect damage. I think that's annoying. Both of them have monsters that reflect basic attacks, so you can't just leave it on autoplay for those situations. But the nice thing about this one is, since it's weak to fire, I forgot to set up the heal there. I should have set up the heal for that. So I guess for this situation, I'm just going to use a healing item, because I don't genuinely care. Bam. Healed him. So we're just going to kill this. The nice thing about equipping barrier, it resets every wave, because it counts as a new battle. So that's really good. So what you want to do for this fight, you really just want to focus damage. Don't use any light or dark damage. He is immune to it, so it's a waste of your time. Just hit him with the old damage that doesn't have any ailment. We're just going to skip his turn because I want to hit him with the wind damage. It does more damage. We're going to skip to our boy Prometheus. This is going to do a lot of damage, and you see we're just kind of bursting him down. No problemo. We're already hitting half of my boys and gals. No problem. I'm defended by barrier. He can't bond my healer. Apocalypse. He can't mute anything that needs magic. So I'm fine. Again, this boss fight's really easy once you have the barrier set up. If you have a current team that you think you want like a judgment on to see if it's good enough for this fight, let me know. I could probably tell you. This fight in particular doesn't really have any elemental damage. It's all like almighty based, so you don't have to worry about his weaknesses per se. At least I don't think anyway. If anything, just the paper monster has light and dark, so you don't want to run anything weak to light or dark. But yeah, as you can see here, I got brands. I usually pull fours. This one I just don't. This run I didn't pull a 4. Doesn't matter to me. I keep doing it. I'll get a 4 that's usable. In this level, like 45 and 46 difficulty, I usually pull 4s and 5s. If you do I'm for sure if you do like the really hard one, you might actually yield level 6s easily, but 4s and 5s also work. The nice thing about this game, even like a level 4 relic could have really good stuff, like just a plethora of effects. Like that's again, it's just random RNG equipment, and that's really cool. You could get something with like starting like 5% healing or 10% evasion. It's something crazy like that. It's cool. It's neat. So yeah, that's how you farm brands, and that's also the best way to farm frogs at the moment. I think that's the best way to farm frogs, because as you can see here, I got 7 frogs with only 3 mana cost, or 3 stamina cost to me. So this week, play Dx2. It is worth your time. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, that's it. Well, for those that already are playing it, you guys already know it's fun. So continue to have fun with this game. And yeah, I'm Did the Awesome. Catch you guys later.